So I'm working on the next score study video, and it's going to be the Punch Brothers cover of Church Street Blues, and that's having me do a lot of rhythmic dictation. So I thought today I might cover 8 tips that I have found really helpful in doing this dictation. But a little bit of a disclaimer, this is not going to be so much allowed in music theory classes or ear training classes, but I've also found that rhythmic dictation in the real world is not so much getting exactly 3 listens through of a Mozart sonata and writing down what I heard. So this will be 8 tips for rhythmic dictation in the wild. Tip number 1. Even professional musicians are not perfect or even efficient at dictation, especially when it involves dense textures or harmonies or really complicated rhythms. So take your time. This is not a test. You have limitless listen-throughs. And rhythmic dictation, much like everything else in music, gets easier with practice. If you've fallen out of practice or are completely new to all of this, then I suggest starting with something that has a simpler rhythm or harmony or texture, and maybe don't start with trying to write down every single part of an orchestral score. Number 2. Tap along or conduct to mark your place in time. I really enjoy conducting. The spatial pattern can help you distinguish beats, or even off beats, I think a little bit better than just the repetitive tapping of a finger or a foot. Number 3, use landmarks. Once I have figured out the meter, I like to start off with some sort of grid. Now this could either be with graph paper or lines drawn on regular paper, or even using technology like a notation software or a DAW, like Pro Tools or Logic or something like that. So anything that has a MIDI editor. Really what we're looking for here is anything that will clearly show beats and subdivisions. Downbeats tend to be the most obvious to hear, so if you hear that something happens on a downbeat, go ahead and mark that down on your grid. Beats are often pretty clear as well. If I can go ahead and mark down all of my beats, it's a pretty solid start. I like to think about it like starting off a puzzle by getting all of the border done first. That being said, number 4, grab whatever information you can every listen through. Even if there are gaps. This could be something like, I know something happens on this beat, or I just heard 4/16 notes in a row, and you can mark that down with a shorthand of just 2 beams. Just like that. And that little note to yourself will help you fill in the gaps later. Which brings us to number 5, which is fill in the gaps from there. Again, take as much time as you need and as many listen-throughs as you need. But if you're anything like me, the more time that you spend thinking about something, the more time that you've given yourself to second guess it. So, number 6, Occam's Razor. The most simple solution is more than likely the correct one. So if you've got down a double-dotted 64th note, more often than not, it's not going to be the correct answer. This may be a good time to point out that humans are not machines. They may not be perfectly in time. So to be incredibly precise, maybe a double-dotted 64th is correct, but it's not really the intent. Perhaps that laid-back or rubato feel is an artistic choice, something that we'll talk about in the main score study video with the violin solo. Number 7, use all available resources. No one is going to be marking you off if you have to use technology to get your rhythm down. Additionally, no one's going to be giving you bonus points if you can do it just with your ear. So use whatever technology you have available to you. YouTube allows a 25% playback speed. I have found that very helpful, especially with bluegrass that's going very, very fast. Additionally, if you're watching a video of someone play, you can just watch what they're playing, and that can give you all sorts of information as well. And finally, number 8, you can punch what you've got into a notation software or a DAW to check your answers. This can let you know how close you are to completing your task, or how much work you still have left to do. I tend to like taking notes on paper, but a notation software or a DAW can also serve as your grid from steps 3 to 5. So there you have it, 8 tips that I have found helpful for rhythmic dictation. Hopefully you found them helpful as well. I've got a new score study video coming up very soon, but in the meantime, let me know in the comments if you have any strategies for rhythmic dictation that you like to use. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, I do videos on music theory, music composition, and music history. So if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for more videos. If you would like to be notified of when a new video has come out, make sure to join my email list, where I'll let you know about new video releases as well as other free musical resources. And if you really like the work that I do and would like to support it and see more of it, come join the community over on Patreon. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.